Previously on Spider-Man in Action.
I got that.
Bye.
Oh my God!
Peter, man, chase my father and all that one. Heard so much about you.
Great honor to meet you, sir.
Harry tells me you're quite the science whiz. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
With great power comes great responsibility. Remember that, Pete. Remember that.
Goes up his hands, ropes come out, and he climbs up the ropes like a spider web.
I see the web, and it's his signature. And I know Spider-Man was here.
The guy protects us, you know, he protects the people.
We're more of a superhero than I'll ever be.
There she is! Hey, there's a guy in the wheel next to her. Must be a car. Yes?
Get away from me! I'll jump right now, I swear!
Because if you do that, you never get a chance to see your boyfriend again.
I don't want to see him. It's all his fault.
Miss, please, take it easy, will you? Yes, you got your whole life ahead of you. Hey, look! It's that Spider-Man! It's really him! Miss, please, come back inside and let's talk, okay?
No. I'm all through talking.
special delivery.
Hey, wait a minute.
How's Mr. Jameson as a boss? Well, Corinne, I'll tell you. After 1 year on the job, I can honestly say he's, different. Yeah. Oh, hey, listen, that's my other line. I'll call you later. Okay, bye-bye. Mr. Jameson's office. Uh-huh. You want him to donate to what? Honey, you got the wrong Mr. Jameson. You're welcome. The Atlantic Socialist Alliance wants Mr. Jameson to make a donation.
Mr. Jameson?
Yes, and he's so conservative, he wouldn't even eat a piece of steak if it was a little bit pink.
Rita, did I hear you say that you've been here almost a year?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it's been that long.
Seems longer to you too, huh?
Well, I gotta tell you, it's really nice having you here. I mean, it's nice having somebody else on my side, if you know what I mean.
Well, thanks, Pete. But it works both ways. I mean, everybody needs somebody to talk to. Which reminds me, I saw your pal Spider-Man on the news last night.
Oh, yeah, so did I.
Does this mean our mystery man is going public? Hmm?
Oh, no, I'm sure it doesn't. It's just that there really wasn't any other way for him to handle that. I mean, Rita, that girl was gonna jump.
Well, a little publicity never hurt anybody.
On Spider-Man's case, I'm not so sure that's true.
Rita, would you get me the files on last year's garbage strike, please? Hello, Parker.
Hi, Mr. Jameson.
I suppose you're here to sell me some exclusive photos on Spider-Man in action.
Well, no, I saw that on television, too. I'm sorry about that, sir.
Come on, boss. You can't expect Pete to get every photo of Spider-Man.
Oh, I can't, kid. Why else do you suppose I've got him on the payroll?
No, that's not fair. Pete does a good job every time you send him out.
Which isn't nearly as often as I'd like, sir.
Keep out of this, will you, Parker?
It's true. You never put him on the big stories.
If I'd have wanted a partner to help me make decisions here, I'd have gotten one 30 years ago.
Mr.
Jameson.
I have an idea for a story that I think you'll really like.
You have an idea for a story?
Yes, now, I'm sure you're really going to like this.
Not now, but can't you see that I'm busy?
Oh, man.
You know, Rita, you really shouldn't talk to him like that. He could have you fired.
He wouldn't dare.
Oh, yes, he would. And he will, too, if you make him mad enough. And he has some very important friends that could make it very difficult for you to get another job.
Oh, yeah? Well, I got some friends, too, that could make it very difficult for him to keep the tires on his rolls, if you know what I mean.
Rita, you are terrific.
Okay, Sid, what is so important for you to drag me off a tennis court?
I want to show you something I got from a TV station in New York.
Goodness of waiting.
This is a piece of history you're seeing. Spider-Man has been seen on the rooftops of the city for a long time now, but this is his debut on the 6 o'clock news. The young woman had been on the ledge for over an hour. According to New York Police Department spokesman Captain Barbera, she resisted all attempts to talk her out of it. In the captain's own words, "We needed a miracle. I guess you could say we got one. I'm sure we would have lost her if it hadn't been for Spider-Man."
That's the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
Incredible? Wrong word. Why don't you try ridiculous?
I want you to get the Examiner an interview with that Spider-Man character. I want to do a cover story on him.
You're kidding. You want to do a cover story on some weirdo who thinks he's a cross between Rudolph Nureyev and Tarzan?
The public will eat it up.
Oh, Sid, why me?
Because he's a man, and you have a way of getting men to do what you want.
Oh, yeah? And why can't I persuade you to put somebody else on this story?
Because I know you too well. You're on the 7:30 into Kennedy.
Wait a minute. How am I supposed to get in touch with this guy? Look him up in the phone book.
Funny, Dale, funny. There's some people you should see for research. The real key is a college student who's a part-time photographer for the New York Daily Bugle. Until this news film, he was the only one that was ever able to get close to this Spider-Man.
Peter Parker.
That's the one.
Dr. Bailey, you can't be serious. You actually plan to operate the reactor here at the university?
Yes, I have all the clearances.
Well, sir, it's one thing to conduct an experiment, to build a model, but To actually operate it, that means you'd have plutonium in this very building.
Mr. Parker, we're talking about something a little under 5 kilos. Now, that's hardly a significant amount. Furthermore, it's already been delivered.
Dr. Baylor, I hope you have created the perfect breeder reactor. I mean, I'd love to believe that there'll be no danger, but I just can't.
Well, the reactor will produce exactly the same amount of plutonium oxide as it uses. There will be no waste and no danger. And the material will be stored in the safe room in the lab.
Safe room? There's no such thing. If you inhale plutonium oxide, you can be dead in a matter of hours.
They don't call that stuff the deadly dust for nothing.
Look, terrorists could come in here and steal that stuff and build a bomb.
It's ridiculous. The security's been doubled on the lab.
Oh, some security. A bunch of old rent-a-cops.
All right, suppose they didn't steal it. They'd have to be very sophisticated terrorists to turn it into a bomb.
I'm sorry, sir, but you were wrong. All the information you need is available at any good library. Everybody knows that. A university senior in physics could build one if he had the plutonium.
Maybe he thinks he could build one. But would it explode?
I certainly hope we never have to find out.
All right, I understand and I appreciate your fears. But I also believe that the potential benefit is well worth the risk. The world will have cheap nuclear power, and the bomb-grade material can be strictly monitored. Now, I'm offering the world a solution, not another problem. Believe me, this is the way of the future. We'll continue this discussion on Wednesday.
No way in the future. Sure. Someday atomic bombs are going to be like electric can openers. Everybody's going to have one.
Hey, lighten up. If there was just some way we could convince Dr. Baylor.
Maybe what he needs is a push.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Maybe you could get the Bugle to write a story.
It's not a bad idea. Yeah, maybe the publicity put some real pressure on him. Well, you know, it's worth a try. I'll see you guys later, okay? Okay, Peter, take care. Bye, Peter.
What are you trying to do? Tell him the whole thing?
No, I just thought the way he was talking during the seminar that maybe he'd come in with us.
Peter, he's too straight.
You know, it would be good to have him with us.
We don't need him. I can do everything he can.
Spiders are your field, Dr. Lindsay. Arachnology, right?
Very good. Like spiders themselves, people who study them get little recognition. It's always nice to meet someone who knows what we do.
Then you've been following this character's exploits pretty closely, right?
Oh, yes. To tell you the truth, I've been rooting for him.
Rooting for him? Tell me, how do you think he does it?
I wish I knew.
But you must have some theory.
Well, yes. If a man somehow gained the powers of a spider,
How can he do that?
that's the part of the puzzle I haven't figured out yet. But if he did have the powers of a spider, he would be magnificent. He would have incredible strength. He could leap 20, 30 feet in the air. He would have a highly developed sixth sense.
You mean a sense of danger?
Exactly.
He could spin a web?
Mhm.
Walk up the side of a building?
Mm-hmm.
Walk on the ceiling?
Yes. He undoubtedly could produce some kind of adhesive that would allow him to do all that.
But, Mr. Jameson, the public has a right to know. Can you imagine what would happen if somebody stole that plutonium and used it to build a bomb?
You should be working for a science fiction magazine.
I could build one.
Yes, what is it?
Miss Hoffman is out here.
Oh, well, ask her to come in. Somebody here wants to meet you.
Come in. Mr. Jameson. Mr. Parker. How nice to meet you. I have been looking forward to this.
It's very nice to meet you, too, Miss.
Miss Hoffman.
Miss Hoffman is a reporter for the Weekly Examiner.
It's a national paper. Supermarket tabloid.
Oh, yes. I've heard.
Why don't you sit down? She has an idea for a story. As a matter of fact, it's something that I've been seriously thinking about for some time now. You tell him.
We want to do an interview with Spider-Man.
The Examiner and the Daily Bugle print the story simultaneously.
And since you're the only one who ever really gets close to him.
Well, now, wait, I never know when I'm going to see Spider-Man.
Well, that's all right. I'll just sort of tag along, and that way I'll be there when you do see him next time. If you don't mind.
Well, of course he doesn't mind.
It won't be that bad, Peter. Peter, that's fascinating.
Well, the way things are going now, by the year 2000, there could be millions of pounds of plutonium spread around the world.
You really know a lot about these things. Tell me, how long have you known Spider-Man?
Quite a while, I guess.
You seem to know him better than anyone else. What is he like? What kind of fellow is he?
Well, he's fairly polite and reasonably intelligent.
Mm-hmm. What is he like physically?
Physically? Well, I suppose you could say we're kind of similar types.
That's interesting. Peter, where are you going?
To class. I forgot I have to see my instructor before the class begins. But don't worry, I'll be back, so please just wait here, okay?
Will you hurry up? This guard's gonna be coming back.
Leave him alone. He's going as fast as he can.
Shut up, both of you. Hey, you went into Dr. Bader's lab. Come on.
Yes.
Captain Barbera, now what's this all about?
5 kilos of plutonium oxide are missing.
This stuff they use to make A-bomb.
That's right. It's not dangerous unless they've opened the container.
What's that thing?
It's a Geiger counter.
Give us the plutonium.
Yes, Parker. It's gone. The lab is clean.
Does that mean we're gonna be okay?
For the moment, yes.
The whole city could be in danger.
Will ya? Let me get something straight. Now, you guys saw the break-in and you called us, right?
Yeah, he came in through the window. It was Spider-Man. Excuse me, sir. You say you saw Spider-Man right here in this lab? No, on the roof.
What difference does it make? Who else would come in the window?
Most Kaplerbergs come in windows on upper floors.
Who are you?
It's all right, Captain. She's with me.
I have my credentials. Gail Hoffman, I'm with the National Paper, the Weekly Examiner.
Great. Another one. Next it'll be Woodward and Bernstein.
Captain, what are you going to do?
What else? Put out an APB on Spider-Man.
Where is Ted with that newspaper?
If you relax, we'll be here in a minute. Page 10. Now you say it's missing.
What? Let me see. Baylor says there's virtually no danger of the material being used to build an atomic device.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like Baylor.
In fact, the real danger is to the people who have the plutonium. The police think that Spider-Man has it.
I know.
Oh, Craig! They're turning this thing into a joke.
We'll see how long they last.
You mean we're gonna go through with it?
It's the only way we can make our point. We have to build a bomb.
Boris, believe me, the guns will leave for the subcontinent in the morning. Oh, and Boris, I understand that some armored cars are about to become available in South America. Of course I'm interested. It's my business. I know, Boris. Planes. You want some planes. Boris, trust me. I'll make some calls in the morning. Yes. Goodbye, Boris. Get Angel. Meet me in the gymnasium.
Yeah.
Want to see me, Mr. White?
Yes. Take a look at these. Make the necessary arrangements. We're leaving for New York immediately. Well, there's nothing about the plutonium being recovered in any of the newspapers. That's good. Very good.
So that's what it really looks like.
Looks almost harmless, doesn't it?
It isn't. I don't want either one of you to ever forget that. Remember now, after this phase, we monitor the radiation levels at all times. I want that Geiger counter on at all. when it cools, it would soften like putty and be practically pure.
You mean it could be turned into a bomb?
Oh, for sure. But it would be very dangerous just by itself. You see, it could go supercritical.
Supercritical.
Yeah, the mass would become so dense that then it would set off a chain reaction.
You mean there could be an atomic explosion?
Well, no, but just the release of radiation by itself would be deadly. Take milk, don't you?
Yes. Peter, how do you know that Spider-Man didn't take the plutonium?
Well, he just wouldn't do something like that. As a matter of fact, right now, he's probably trying to figure out who did do it.
If he's not involved, why doesn't he go to the police and prove it?
Well, Gail, it's not quite that simple. I mean, think about it. I think Spider-Man does a lot of good, but if people knew who he was, well, it just wouldn't be the same.
Nobody asked him to save the world.
I don't really think he wanted any part of being a superhero.
Then all he has to do is turn in his little blue tights.
And what about his conscience? What is the point of having some kind of special power if you don't use it to help people?
Okay, it could be a tough life.
And will it be? How can he ever talk to people the way we're talking right now? I mean, what kind of a life can he really have? Think about it for a minute. He has to lie to everybody. At work, to his friends. What about girlfriends? How could he ever hope to get married? Just have a normal life. People think it would be really wonderful to have Spider-Man's powers. Let me tell you, I'm not so sure whether it's a blessing or a curse.
I doubt if he could have put that much better. You know, Parker, there's more to you than I thought.
Hello? I'm speaking. Well, yeah, sure, I'll hold. It's John Aston Smith.
The news anchorman?
Yeah, he wants to interview me for the evening news. Well, yes, I guess I could speak for some of the students at the university.
Well, if it would be convenient for you, perhaps you could come to my hotel, the Ramon, in, say, an hour?
An hour? Fine, sure. Thank you.
May I go with you? I've always wanted to meet him.
Are you sure Parker's the one?
I checked every student in Baylor's seminar. He's the only one smart enough to pull it off.
When we do get the plutonium, what are you going to do with it?
Same as I do with everything. Just put it up for sale to the highest bidder.
Who are you?
Captain Barbera?
Yeah?
Inspector DiCarlo.
Well, what can I do for you?
Bureau was wondering what progress you're making on this plutonium thing.
Well, it's only been 2 days, but I got one lead. The security guards who saw Spider-Man at the scene.
What can you tell me about Spider-Man?
Not much. He's given me a lot of sleepless nights.
Do you think he's capable of doing something like this?
Who knows? Could be capable of anything.
Have you thought of the other possibilities?
You mean like terrorists?
I mean, they don't even have to build a bomb, in theory. Just 2 kilos of plutonium oxide could cause millions of cases of lung cancer.
Okay, stop it. You're scaring me.
I mean to.
Well, maybe we should go back to the university and talk to Dr. Baylor again.
I've already talked to Dr. Baylor.
Yeah? Did you get anything out of him?
I asked him if he had any student who was capable of building a bomb with the missing plutonium.
Yeah, what'd he say?
He came up with one name, Peter Parker.
Parker? He's just a kid, I know.
Well, then maybe you can help me find him.
You're serious about Parker?
I'm dead serious.
Man. Miss Hoffman was just really hot. She's just so sexy when she talks to me. And I think I'm flirting with her. Damn it. It's Gwen. A break cannot be caught. Hey Gwen. Yes? You're actually worried about Harry. No, the little design. I know, it's a little contrary. I know, you're right. It's just a little thing Harry has with Oscorp. I'll talk to him as soon as I can. Bye. I don't even know how she gets that up with me. She just makes a life miserable. But who can even blame her? Miss Hoffman's meeting me at the rush hour at Canada with the Russians. They're just waiting up for an ambush. I'll be waiting to be there. Some things are more large and a more superhero than I'll ever be.